10 simple things you can do to make your vocals sound great. I'm going to talk about 4 of these actually are like pre-recording the vocals, what you can do to get a good vocal recording. And then there's 6 that are like after you record the vocals, what can you do to make them sound great? First thing is get a pop filter. This is what it looks like. This is a Rode pop filter that comes with the Rode mics. And here's a Rode mic. It's the NT1A that I use a lot of the times for vocals. What pop filter does, what they do is it's a screen that breaks up the hard consonants, mostly from P's, like p, p, p. So you have to have this to break those hard consonants up. If you don't have a pop filter, they'll go right into the mic, and it could peak, and then the recording, or at least that word of the recording, can be ruined. I have seen people record vocals like this, where the pop filter is kind of right up to the mic, and because you want to get nice and close. And that's fine. You can get up to the mic nice and close, but it needs a bit of space for this screen to break up that signal. And that's what the pop filter is doing. So first tip, get a pop filter if you don't have one. Number 2 is mic placement and dynamics with the mic when you're singing. So you should have the mic like level with your mouth, and that's fine. Like the typical way to have your mic set up and start singing, most of the time that works fine. However, it can matter sometimes where your mic is placed to get the right texture and quality of the voice that you want coming through. So if you want your vocal performance to be very intimate, then get close with the mic, and you can get right in there. If you want more of the room sound, stand further back and you can shout. So use that dynamics with your mic, because that's really going to matter of how the quality of the vocal will sound. Also, where you have the mic set up, like if it's just level, this is going to sound different than if it's like this. This can sometimes get rid of those hard consonants coming through too if you don't have a pop filter. Better getting a pop filter though. If you have your mic like this, if you have your mic turned around, it's not going to work. If you have your mic on the side, I don't know, you're going to need to spend time with the microphone. And also rent different microphones. Every microphone sounds different too. But the placement of the microphone and the dynamics of how loud and how soft you want to sing matter with the distance that you are between the microphone too. Number 3 in pre-production, pre-recording kind of thing is your room. If you can treat your room great, you can do some simple hacks. This video is titled Easy Things, right? So try to just, if you have like some curtains, go put your microphone in front of the curtains and then sing your vocal takes that. If you can do that, if your computer's near and that you can make that happen. Or you can rig up like some pillows or like a blanket right in front of the mic. First step is to like have the soft cushiony things that can absorb the sound. Put that in front of your microphone, behind it, because when you're singing, that's the sound waves are going to hit that first and then bounce off. Maybe even hold the pillow if you can in front of you, or tape them against the wall. I've seen people get pretty creative with how they like soundproof their room. Curtains really work well, or if you have a walk-in closet, go in there. It will help in the long run to get a dry recording if you can. Number 4 pre-recording technique is warm up your voice. No one likes warming up. I hate warming up. When everyone tells me to warm up, I'm like, no, that's boring and it sucks. Okay, so if you don't want to warm up, I would recommend warming up, but I don't even do it either. So if you don't warm up, then just do lots of takes. Consider like your first 3 or 4 takes, or maybe even 5 or 6 takes, those warming up. So you're not warming up like you're not in front of a YouTube video and la 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 la. You're actually just like using the first 5 or 6 takes to warm up your voice. And that's what I do, because I don't necessarily like warming up. So I just consider the first 5 takes to actually get my voice warmed up and in the zone. And then when I'm comping, I really only look at the latest takes, 3 or 4 takes, because that's when my voice is really warm. You're going to get into it. So let's jump into Logic and talk about the next 6. The first of that 6 would be comping your vocals. You're going to want to do a vocal comp to get the best take. You can do that a number of ways. Here's an audio track. I'll just record my voice right now. Let's say this is our vocal. I'm recording from this bar here into this bar, and I'm going to do another take here. Okay, recording again, da 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 da, singing, blah blah blah. Okay, so now it's made a take folder. So ideally, do as many takes as you can, kind of like the last one. Do a lot, and then comp your vocal. So you're going to want this one in take 1, this one in take 2, and then eventually you snap that up and you have a take you can export that to a new take. You can merge this, you can flatten this. Don't want to get too deep into comping. The important thing is comping, and that is one way to do it in Logic. Another couple of ways you can do is just adding tons of tracks. Downside of that is you're gonna have, if you have plugins on those tracks, it's just gonna, and if you're doing like 20 takes, that's 20 tracks that are running plugins, that's gonna run slow on your computer. You could do track alternatives is another way, right-clicking in Logic and then going to track header components. At the bottom there, track alternatives, and then you have a drop down here where you can have a new alternative, and you can do it that way here, recording our voice again. You know, that, okay. See, now we have A, which is our comp. We have B, which is our take. We can go again. Now we have another take inside B. We can go a new alternative, and you see what I mean. You can have different comps in different alternatives. Alternatives is just saying like another, well, that's another alternative. Recently, I've been getting away from take folders. I'm just gonna delete this. I've been setting up like one track. So let's say like this is the, actually we don't need that track anymore. Let's just take two new audio tracks. So let's say this is my lead, and then I'll have like my plugins on the side. I'll have Charles Klein, like all my vocal chain here. So this is like my lead vocal chain. Then I'll have a new track where I will record the vocals, and we can call it takes. And I'll just sit there doing vocal takes, sitting or standing, until I'm happy with that actual part, and then I'll drag it down into the lead section. So for example, I would start recording. I might have effects here, and I might do system monitoring depending on how I feel, but I might just record in dry as well. And you know, record in here, blah, 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 blah. Recording. Then I'm like, ooh, this part is really nice. Okay, let's put that one down here. And actually like this part too, put that one down here. And I'd race, and then I'd do it again. Eventually, over time, you're gonna bring all the regions down here to the lead vocal track, and you have one thing. If you want to re-record over the regions and you don't want Logic to create a take folder for you, you can change that in settings. So if you go to settings, and I believe it's under, recording audio. And if you have cycle on and you record over a region, you can create track alternatives if you want. You can create tracks and mute, and so you don't have to have create take folders. Number 6 is to gain stage your vocal. And that just means like when you record, especially if you're comping, your voice is going to be placed differently on the mic. So some words are going to be louder than others. You're going to sing some words quieter. The whole signal is going to be a bit like wobbly. So go through the vocal and make sure everything is more or less sounds like it is at the same level in a way. That's what a compressor does, and you should compress it anyways. But if you do this, it's going to help your compressor. It's like you're going to be a friend to your compressor, and it's going to have to work less. One way you can do that is to like go through the vocal like this, and you can cut a section, let's say, and inside Flex Pitch, you might be familiar with this. You can do a gain on the bottom left here. So where were we here on this one? Where's our cursor? So let's say we wanted to bump the gain up here instead. We just use this gain, and same thing, like click and drag up, and you can see that signal increasing. So let's say we want just this word, and then we don't have to do any cutting, right? We just go to that exact signal and increase it. The thing that's great about doing it this way is you can nail in on little syllables too of the words. Like this is one word, but we're just going to lower the gain at the end of this if we want, or if we want to increase it, right? The alternative there is we'd have to go up here and cut it. And then sometimes when you cut it and increase the gain in the region, sometimes isn't a perfect mold, I guess you could say. Here, it's just a little bit cleaner. And the next thing, number 7, is timing. And timing is everything. If your vocal is not in time, it's going to sound bad. And very rarely you'll sing perfectly in time. So you really want to try to get things in the pocket and locked in. And I go through my vocal, as you can see, I've done it here, and I've cut things up and moved words just by nudging them here and there, making sure everything aligns to the grid. So for example, this word here, it could even be moved over if I want to sing it right on the grid. And bump up the signal so you can really see things. And I could move this over, nudge it over a bit. Now when you nudge things, you're going to crowd another region. So you have to go back and fade that either by manually fading, like with your fade tool I have in my command here. I can highlight those in command, or you can do automatic crossfades with the region here on drag. If I change this to drag, that means like if I drag into this one, it's just going to create a crossfade for me. So personal choice of how you want to work. Then you have to listen back and see if that crossfade works, make sure there's no popping. And sometimes you might just not be able to get around it because maybe another word's starting right here and you can't fade it and it sounds bad. So you have to just revert to where it was and try to find a balance, maybe zoom in more and really, get into it. Maybe you can find a fix. It really makes a difference just nudging it here and there, making things really sound locked in. This is what the pros do, and this is something that you need to do if you want to play at that level. For example, this word needs to fall in here, then I'd go over and crossfade that. And you go through your whole track, making sure everything is on the grid, listening back. Is it in the pocket? Does it groove well? You do want a bit of human in it as well. So there is a fine balance. Next thing, number 8, I believe. Are we at number 8? Number 8 is actually start adding effects. I'm not going to go too deep on effects, types of plugins you use, but the important things, right? You're going to want to do some type of shape EQing. Usually you want to cut out some lows like this, depending on how low or how high your voice is. Sometimes, in this region here, you can do a dip because it usually sounds a bit muddy there. And you can also look in this frequency range between 1 and 6K. There can be sometimes some annoying frequencies here. You're just shaping it a little bit, not doing so much. A multi-band compressor you can add. You can add the Logic ones. They're super standard as well. Compress your vocal and have that needle jump around -5. You can have it all the way to -10 if you want, depending on how crunchy you want your vocal to sound. But I'll show you in this vocal here.
Say I'm not upset, though the truth has hit me hard. I was just hoping that I would forget.
Soothe is a cool plugin. It's actually really great. It kind of just sees the plugin, it sees the frequencies that are crappy and takes them out for you. And yeah, you do have to pay for it. There's a free trial though. You can add another compressor on your vocal. You should be adding de-essers too. I skipped that. I'm just using a Logic de-esser. Recap, shape EQ, multiband compression, de-esser, compressor, another EQ, another compressor, de-esser, Valhalla reverb, pitch correction or auto-tune, more reverb, and delay. I think number 9 to make your vocal sound great, and it's something easy you can do, doubling the lead vocal. Ideally, not the whole song, but maybe in the most important song, piece of the song, so in the chorus. And doubling it, well, not doubling it, actually recording 3 fresh takes of the chorus. So go take your chorus vocal, so it's over here. And I haven't done this yet on this vocal, but I'm going to be doing this.
Oh, I just hope you know that was me before, but I felt you had to know.
Usually for the doubling thing, you don't need to get too overwhelmed because they're going to be tucked back. But then you would go over, record, and sing the exact same thing. I think it's great, and a tip I got from Charlie Puth, actually, one of his videos. I don't know him. Sing like normally the first one, okay, got that one, and you're going to put that one in the middle, and then you're going to have 2 more that you're going to pan to the sides. And those ones you can sing a bit softer, still in the same tone, the same note and key and octave, I don't know, but softer. And so you're going to be panning those to the side. And that just helps support the vocal. The 2 ones on the side like hug the lead vocal, and the one that's in the middle just is like right behind the vocal. Because they all sound the same, it kind of sounds like it's only one, but it's bigger. All types of pop music do this. If you don't want to go and sing your double again, or sing the lead again, the chorus lead, you can do things like you can drag this whole thing down, make a copy of it, and then use like a formant shifter or a pitch shifter, something like the Soundtoys Alter Boy, or even in Logic Pitch, I think it's Pitch Shifter or a Vocal Transformer maybe. Yeah, it's a Vocal Transformer. If you change the formant, which is like the texture of the voice, that should be enough to make it sound different. It's not good to just double it and not change it at all, because that's going to create phasing issues, which is a good segue into the next one, which is number 10, add harmonies. This is going to make your vocals sound much better. And you don't have to be like the Dixie Chicks or like Crosby, Stills, Nash. You really want octave harmonies. For example, this pitch lower and higher. You can do a higher one too. That's going to sound really chipmunky though, this one.
Oh, I just hope you know.
So you might want to not do that. Ideally, you can sing it. So you can sing that high, and it doesn't have to be full voice. Sing those high harmonies in like a baby whisper voice. So it's like, not like that. So I'll show you in this part here.
That was me before.
That was me before. Just that texture, like baby soft voice.
That was me before, but I felt you had to know.
Doubling those and recording 2 of those and panning them is going to give it a really cool feel. It's up to you on the quality, or not the quality, but the style of harmony you want. I've also seen other artists do, and I have another video on that, where it's like a Phineas doing 4 tracks of the same tone and then hard panning to the left and right, and then bringing some right, like kind of in the middle. So if these are the 4 tracks here, like some of them are like this, and then the other 2 are like that. So you're kind of using the full image of the stereo field, and that's going to create a huge width for you. Go have fun with your vocals now. I hope they can sound better after you watch this video. Feel free to subscribe, and as always, I hope to see you in the next video.